The stars were quiet. But in that silence, a signal came. Cold, broken, and full of fear. Admiral Zarok of the Varnak Empire stood at the edge of his command ship, the Honor Flame. His eyes, sharp and full of pride, scanned the message playing, on repeat across the main screen. "Do not go to Earth. It sees us. It sees us. It sees..." Then silence. The signal had come from Scout Ship 91-Phi, sent to explore the Sol system. It was meant to report on Earth, a strange blue planet near a yellow sun. The Varnak Empire had taken hundreds of planets. Earth was just another. Name on the list, but this message was different. "Play it again," Zarok ordered, the same words, same glitchy voice. But now something was wrong. Captain Telnar, the ship's communication officer, frowned. "Sir, this part, where it says, 'It sees us,' the voice changes." Zarok turned his head. "What do you mean?" "It's human," Telnar said. "That voice isn't Varnak." A silence fell over the command bridge. Even the hum of the engines seemed to quiet down. Back on the homeworld, the Varnak High Council gathered in the dark hall of stars. Holograms of Earth floated in the center. A red circle marked it. "Target 778. "It's just old tech interference," one elder said. "The humans are primitive. We've seen their broadcasts, war, politics, fools shouting at each other. But," Elder Rethar spoke calmly, "there's a reason no other race touches Earth. The Zarn tried. They vanished. The Creel sent a ship. It turned back on its own, every crew member mad. Earth has warnings written in orbit." "They fear us," said General Vok. "We are the Empire." "No," Rithar said. "They fear Earth." But the vote was clear. 6-1. Earth was to be invaded. A week later, the Honor Flame and 5 other warships arrived at the edge of Earth's solar system. No human ships came to meet them. No defenses, just quiet. Sensors showed cities below, lights, movement, life. "Scan their weapons," Zarok ordered. "Primitive," said Telnar. "Missiles, guns, old tech. They don't even have space defenses." The D crew laughed. A weak world. A foolish race. But then, the ship's lights flickered, just for a moment. And that's when they heard it again. "Do not go to Earth. It sees us." This time, the message played on their private headsets. Zarok grabbed his console. "Who sent that signal? Turn it off!" Telnar's hands shook. It didn't come from outside. It came from inside the ship. Down in the engine bay, Technician Rourke found something strange. A camera, small and old. Not Varnak tech. It was hidden behind a panel. How did this... "Get here?" he asked. The moment he touched it, the lights died, and across every screen, a face appeared. Human. Smiling. "You're already here," it said, then it vanished. Back on the bridge, panic started to grow. Soldiers stood alert, guns ready. Even Admiral Zarok felt a cold chill crawling up his neck. "Send a probe to the surface," he said. The small drone left the ship and entered Earth's atmosphere. It flew over a large human city, empty streets, cars frozen in place, screens flashing static. "There's no movement," Telnar whispered. "It's like the whole city just stopped." "No weapons detected?" asked Zarok. "No, sir, nothing." Then the probe sent a final image, a wall painted with giant letters in blood red. "You were warned!" Then the signal cut off. Enough. "Games!" Zarok shouted. "Prepare the landing fleet! 2,000 soldiers! We'll take the city in hours!" "No," said Telnar. "Sir, please. This isn't normal. I think Earth is not what it looks like." Zarok turned, his voice cold. "You're afraid of a weak race? One warning?" Telnar lowered his head. "Sir, that voice we heard. I checked the audio pattern. It's a mix of all 23 Scout crew members, blended into one voice." "What?" "They're all saying the same thing, together, at once." That night, across all 6 ships, the same dream came. A giant eye, black and endless, looking through space, looking at them. Each crew member woke up screaming. Some never woke up at all. In the command center, Zarok stood before. The stars. Earth floated below like a sleeping beast. "It's just fear," he said to himself. "There is no death trap. There is no trap at all." He didn't know that 5 races before had said the same thing. He didn't know that Earth didn't need weapons to kill. He didn't know it was already inside. Down in the crew deck, a young soldier sat in his bunk. His hands shook. He looked into his helmet's visor and saw a human face instead of his own. It smiled, whispered, "Welcome." Admiral Zarok stood at the center of the landing bay, watching dropships load the first wave of troops. 2,000 Varnak soldiers, trained, armed, ready. They wore black armor that shimmered in the ship's lights. Each held a plasma rifle, strong enough to destroy tanks. They had beaten many worlds. Earth was just one more. But none of them were laughing. Not today. Captain Rel, leader of the ground team, walked toward Admiral Zarok. His face was pale under his helmet. "We land in 20 minutes, he said. Zarok nodded. "Bring back control of that city, and bring me a human." Rel hesitated. "Sir, I have a request. Let my team wear neural blockers. Those dreams, my men can't sleep." Zarok shook his head. "No, that's weakness. We face reality, not shadows." Rel nodded slowly, then turned to his troops. "Board the ships," he shouted. The dropships opened their jaws and swallowed the soldiers. 5 ships, 400 troops each. The engines lit up, and they descended to Earth. In the control room, Captain Telnar stood by the sensor station watching the ships enter the atmosphere. One passed over a mountain range, another above an ocean. 3 entered the airspace of the target city. "Still reading their signals?" asked Zarok. Telnar nodded. "Yes, sir. All clear." Then his screen blinked, and all 5 signals were gone. Not weak, not broken. Just gone. "Try again," Zarok shouted. "Open voice channels." Telnar's hands moved fast. "No response." Visual. "Feed." Nothing. "Location markers?" "They're not there." Zarok leaned forward. "What do you mean, not there? They just disappeared?" Telnar's voice cracked. "Sir, it's like they were never there at all." 6 hours passed. Then 12, then 24. Still no word, no signal, no signs. The soldiers were gone, no bodies, no sounds, no answers. On the second day, a single dropship returned. It entered orbit slowly, with no response to calls. Its engines were cold, its lights dead. Inside the Varnak ship, soldiers watched in silence as the returning dropship was pulled into the docking bay. "Prepare the boarding team," Zarok ordered. The door hissed open. Smoke drifted out, and inside, nothing. No blood, no damage, no equipment. Just empty armor, neatly stacked in a pile, 2,000 sets, all placed with care, like someone had undressed them, one by one. "Scan the ship," Zarok whispered. A science officer moved forward with a scanner. He entered slowly. His boots clicked on the metal floor. He picked up a helmet and turned it over. Inside, written in red, were human words. "You came." The officer dropped it, and then he started laughing. Not normal laughter. It was high, sharp, wrong. He laughed as he walked into the smoke and vanished. A full lockdown was ordered. No one entered the dropship again. That night, soldiers reported hearing footsteps in the hallways, but the cameras saw nothing. One guard swore he saw a child, human, walking through the ship with a teddy bear. The next morning, he was missing. Only his boots remained. Xerox stood in his chamber, staring at a small Earth globe brought in from old archives. It spun slowly. Blue, green, white clouds. So peaceful. So quiet. A lie. Captain Telnar entered the room. "Sir," he said, voice low. "I checked the old records again." Xerox turned. "What did you find?" "4 empires before us. All tried to take Earth. All failed." Xerox narrowed his eyes. "How?" "Same as us. First contact, vanished troops, empty ships. Then madness. Did anyone survive?" Telnar nodded. "One. A Zarn pilot. He was found floating in space, alone, ship dead. When rescued, he only said one thing." "What?" Telnar looked into Xerox's eyes. "It doesn't want war. It wants witnesses." Xerox sat down slowly. Something felt wrong deep inside his chest, a fear he didn't understand. He wasn't afraid of death. He had faced battle. He had watched planets burn. But this was different. On the 3rd day, strange signals came from Earth. Images, sounds, static, then a voice, familiar, one of the missing soldiers. "General Xerox, we're here. It's beautiful here. You'll love it." Then laughter. Human laughter. Xerox slammed his fist on the table. "This is a trick. Fake messages. Earth tech is primitive." But even he didn't believe it anymore, because now the voice wasn't just on the screen. It whispered through the walls. Across the ship, lights flickered again. One hallway stretched longer than before. Doors that were closed opened by themselves. Windows showed cities that weren't there. Telnar ran into the bridge, face pale. "Sir, we need to leave." Xerox stood tall. "And run? The Empire doesn't run." Telnar stepped closer. "Sir, listen. Earth is not just a planet. It's a trap?" Telnar shook his head. "No, sir. It's something else. Something alive." That night, the command crew gathered. 10 top officers. Only 7 showed up. One sent a message. "I'm already on Earth now." He had never left the ship. Another was found in his room, drawing human cities on the walls. He didn't respond when called. His eyes were wide. His mouth kept repeating, "We're home." Xerox made a decision. "Prepare the second wave," he said. Telnar's mouth dropped open. "Sir, the first wave is gone." "We will not leave with shame," Xerox growled. "We are Varnak," Telnar lowered his voice. "And Earth is not ours to take." General Varn Threx was not afraid of stories. He had led 20 battles, crushed rebellions, taken planets. He had no time for ghost tales or strange voices. So when he arrived in orbit above Earth with the second wave of invasion, he laughed at the silence that filled the command ship. "They act like children," he said to his second-in-command, Major Kor. Kor stayed quiet. He had reviewed the reports, the missing troops, the empty armor, the strange voices, but he knew Threx well. Arguing with him was useless. "We land in Sector 9, Threx said. "The heart of one of their cities. We take it in hours. I want full control by sunset." He stood tall before his soldiers, another 2,000 strong. "The Empire does not fear myths," he shouted. "We are not made of fear. We are made of fire." The soldiers roared, but still, something in their eyes was different. Doubt, fear. They had seen the logs from the first wave. They had seen the empty dropship. The ships descended. 5 transports. Same as before. Same flight path. Same plan. As Threx's ship entered Earth's sky, he stared out at the land below. Tall buildings. Dead streets. A strange, broken silence. "This world is empty," he said. But he was wrong. The city was still. Not destroyed. Not damaged. Just paused. Vehicles stopped mid-turn, streetlights blinking. Shops open, but no humans, like time had simply stopped. "Secure the area," Threx ordered. His men spread out. They moved through buildings, checked rooms, scanned every signal. No movement, no signs of life, just stillness. Then came the first scream. Private Lauren had gone into a tall glass building. He said he saw someone inside, a man standing still, but when the team reached him, he was gone. Only his rifle remained, and on the glass wall nearby, a handprint. Human. "We are not leaving until this city is ours," Threx said. "These are tricks, illusions." Kor spoke softly. "Sir, this is not a normal world." "You think it's haunted?" Threx scoffed. "I don't know what it is," Kor whispered. "But I don't think it wants us here." That night, the soldiers camped in the city center. They set up lights, defense turrets, scanners. Threx gave orders for patrols, as he always did. But the city didn't sleep. Private Wren was assigned rooftop watch. He stared into the distance, the empty skyline. Then something flickered, a billboard. It was showing a video now of him, sitting there, watching. Live. He looked at the camera on the sign. There wasn't one. He reached for his comm. Then, static. Down below, another soldier saw her own face in a shop window, but it moved differently than she did. When she turned, the reflection smiled and waved. In the main base tent, Threx sat with his officers. "Any signs of resistance?" he asked. One officer didn't answer. He was staring at the wall. "Officer Brell?" Threx called again. The man slowly turned. His eyes were all white. He whispered, "It knows we're here," then collapsed. His body was cold, already dead. They tried to call the orbiting command ship. No signal. Again, like before. They were cut off. Threx walked through the silent city at dawn. Kor followed behind. "Still think this is just a joke?" Kor asked. Threx didn't reply. He had started to see them now, too. Shadows moving at the edge of his vision. Buildings that changed when no one looked. Reflections that didn't match. They reached the center plaza. There stood a large human statue. One that wasn't there yesterday. It showed a human soldier, wearing Varnak armor. Threx stepped closer. It had his face. "This isn't possible," he said. Suddenly, lights across the city turned on. All at once, screens lit up. Voices played. Laughter, children, adults, news anchors, all human, but they were speaking Varnak. "Do you see now?" the voices said together. "You were never meant to come here. This is not a place to take. This is a place that takes you." Then the statue cracked. A black mist came from the cracks. It rose into the air, and the ground below there. Feet began to shift, buildings twisted, streets stretched. The city was changing, alive, watching, waiting. Threx ordered retreat. "Get back to the drop ships," he shouted. But the streets were different now. The way back was gone. No maps worked. No landmarks remained. Soldiers ran in panic. Some walked into doors that didn't exist. Others stared into mirrors, unable to move. One saw himself as a child, crying, speaking English. By sunset, half of Threx's force had vanished. The rest hid in underground tunnels, but even there things weren't safe. Tunnels moved. Walls whispered. Time didn't work right. Kor sat in the dark, holding his rifle, shaking. Threx sat beside him, quiet. Finally, Kor spoke. "You still don't believe in ghosts?" Threx didn't answer. He was staring at his hands. They were changing. Human. General Threx was no longer sure if he was awake. He sat in the dark tunnel beneath the Earth City, breathing heavily. The walls around him pulsed faintly like they were alive. His skin itched. His head throbbed. Everything felt wrong. Major Kor leaned against the tunnel wall nearby, watching him carefully. "Sir," Kor said quietly, Your hands. Threx looked down. His fingers were longer, paler, human. He clenched them into fists. They returned to normal, for now. Above ground, the city was changing. More buildings had appeared overnight. Some were impossible structures, bent at angles that defied gravity. Others were mirrors, tall as towers, reflecting skies that didn't exist. Soldiers still alive were scattered, hiding in basements, vehicles, old shops. But the city found them anyway, private. Selna sat inside an abandoned bookstore. She had found a children's book with bright pictures. It was written in English, but when she opened the pages, her own face was on every drawing, a smiling child version of her, growing up, joining the military, landing on Earth, and on the last page, a mirror glued to the paper. She looked into it and saw herself blinking, but she hadn't blinked. In another part of the city, two soldiers walked past a cracked wall. Inside the crack was a dark eye. It blinked once, then vanished. Back in the tunnel, General Threx tried to contact orbit again. Only static. Suddenly, a clear voice answered. "General Threx," it said in calm English. He froze. "Who is this?" he demanded. The voice didn't answer the question. "You're very brave," it said. "But this place doesn't care about bravery." Then laughter. The same voice spoke again, but now it sounded like Kor. "They're watching us through our eyes." Kor stood behind him, silent. "Did you hear that?" Threx asked. Kor nodded slowly. "I think they're inside us now." Threx turned to face him. "What do you mean?" Kor's face twitched. He opened his mouth and spoke in a soft human voice. "They learn by watching. Now, they see what we see." Threx stepped back. Kor blinked and looked normal again. I didn't mean to say that," Kor whispered. "They made me say it." Outside, a soldier found an old human mirror near a fountain. She looked in, but the reflection didn't move. It just stared. Then it smiled. Across the city, all reflective surfaces began to shimmer. Water, windows, metal. They became screens, and on every screen, the faces of the Varnak soldiers. But they weren't normal. Each face had human eyes. Threx gathered the survivors in an old subway station. Only 600 remained. He stood in front of them, helmet off, face pale. "They are inside the city," he said. "They are inside us." "We were warned," a soldier whispered. A scream echoed from the tracks below. Another soldier had walked into a mirror and never came back. Major Kor opened a small device. It showed the troop roster. Names were vanishing one by one. No reports, no deaths. Just gone. Suddenly, lights above flickered. The screens in the subway station came alive. Security cams. They showed every squad still alive, but from a strange angle, like someone was filming them from inside their own helmets. And then the screens began to change, now showing old human homes, family dinners, school halls, children, all speaking Varnak. One soldier fell to his knees. "I saw my mother," he whispered. "She's been dead for years." Another pointed to the wall. "That's my childhood bedroom," Threx shouted. "Everyone shut it down! Kill all feeds!" The screens turned off, but the sounds remained. Child's voice whispered from a speaker. "You came to see us. Now we see you." That night, Kor and Threx stayed awake in silence. Then Kor asked, "Sir, do you dream?" Threx didn't answer, because the dreams had already started. In them, he walked Earth as a human. He had a home, a family, a name. He was happy. Then he woke up, screaming. In the corner of the room, a mirror cracked. A face looked back. His face, but more human. And it whispered, "Let us in." The message from Earth echoed across the dark command ship above the planet. "You came to see us. Now we see you." Admiral Zarok stared at the screen in front of him. Static danced over it. but the voice was still clear, still speaking. It sounded like one of his own officers, but the tone was wrong. Too calm, too human. On the bridge, everyone was quiet. Captain Telnar broke the silence. "Sir, I've tried every channel. None of the ground troops respond. The second wave, they're gone." Zarok said nothing. His eyes were locked on the screen. It was now showing Earth's surface, live, or maybe not. The city below looked like a memory. Clean streets, children playing, no fear, no war, like a lie painted on top of truth. A moment later, the image glitched. The streets emptied, the children vanished, and all the buildings bent sideways like melting wax. "Get us out of orbit," Zarok ordered at last. The crew stared at him. Telnar stepped forward. "Sir, you want to retreat?" "Yes," Zarok growled. "We've lost contact. Our soldiers are likely dead or worse. This planet is not normal. We leave now." Telnar didn't argue. Everyone had felt it. The eyes, the voice, the city watching them. Pilots moved to their stations. Engines powered up. The fleet began to turn. 6 ships ready to leave Earth's orbit. But then, the ship wouldn't move. "Status report," Zarok barked. "Engines are working," an officer replied. "No errors, but we're not going anywhere." Telnar checked the controls. "It's like something's holding us in place." "Gravity lock?" Zarok asked. "No, it's not natural." They tried again. Still nothing. They were trapped. Suddenly, a voice came from every speaker on the ship. Same human voice. Calm. Cold. "You were warned." Then another voice joined in. This time, it was Zarok's own voice. "Abandon Earth. That's an order." Zarok froze. "I never said that." Telnar looked at him. "It sounded like you did." Then all the screens in the command room lit up. One by one, they showed faces. Not human, Varnak soldiers, every one of them missing from the first and second waves. But now, they had human eyes. And they smiled. "We're not prisoners," one said. "We're home," said another. "This is what we were meant to become." The crew stepped back from the screens. One officer collapsed. Another pulled out a sidearm and tried to shoot the monitor. It didn't break. Zarok stood in the middle of the chaos. "This is not possible," he whispered. Then the lights flickered. The walls of the ship creaked, and all the screens went dark. They tried to send a distress signal to the Empire. Nothing. They tried to scan their location. The ship's map now showed them deep underground, inside Earth. Impossible. But there it was, like the ship was part of the city now. Swallowed. Later, in his private chamber, Zarok stared into a metal panel. He saw his reflection. It blinked before he did. Then it whispered, "Leave, if you still remember how." He stepped away, but the voice followed. In the lower deck, an escape pod powered up on its own. The crew didn't launch it. No one was inside. Still, it left, flew through the black sky, reached orbit, then vanished without a trace. Telnar saw it from the window. "Did you authorize that pod?" he asked. "No," Zarok replied. Then what was inside? The answer came a few minutes later. Every screen on the ship flashed a single sentence. Something went back. On the Empire's capital world, thousands of light years away, a deep space station received a message. It had no source. No sender, just audio, a calm human voice, speaking in perfect Varnak. Earth was not empty. It was waiting. It wanted us to come. Now we belonged to it. High Command didn't understand. They thought it was a joke, a glitch. But then, one of their own officers walked into the room. He had just returned from leave. No one noticed the change at first. But when he smiled, it wasn't his smile. When he spoke, he used 2 voices. One, Varnak, one human. And somewhere, far below, orbiting a silent blue world, Admiral Zarok stood alone on the bridge. His crew was gone. The ship was quiet. Only one voice remained, his own, but it said words he didn't choose. "Abandon Earth," it repeated. "That's an order." The scout ship Veltrix 7 descended slowly into Earth's atmosphere. Commander Rowe was leading this new mission. He was told Admiral Zarok had gone silent. No response from orbit, no signal from the surface. All they knew was this: the Empire's best invasion force had disappeared. Rowe's orders were simple: land, investigate, recover what you can. Get out! But as Veltrix 7 neared the surface, things already felt wrong. Below, they saw a city, but it wasn't burning, it wasn't broken. It looked perfect. Too perfect. Roads without cracks, skyscrapers without lights, cars stopped in the middle of streets, like everyone had frozen mid-life. Lieutenant Sora looked down from the viewing window. No wind, no birds, no life. Commander Rowe nodded. One city, no sound. He didn't like it. He couldn't explain why. But deep in his chest, something screamed. Turn back, but they didn't. Veltrix 7 landed in the center of the city, near a tall tower with glowing windows. The glow wasn't natural. It pulsed like a heartbeat. Helmets on. Weapons ready, Rowe ordered. They stepped out. 5 soldiers, 1 city. Not a single sound. Even their boots made no echo. It was like the air itself didn't allow noise. "Commander," said Sora, "look at the people." Rowe turned. They had found them, humans, or what looked like humans, standing still on the sidewalks. Unmoving, eyes wide open, smiling. "They're not breathing," said another soldier. "Statues? No. Flesh, just not alive." Rowe walked toward one. He waved a hand in front of its face. Nothing. He leaned closer. Then the person blinked, only once. Then returned to staring forward, still smiling. Sora stepped back. "Commander, we need to go." But something moved in the reflection of the tower's glass. A shadow, a shape. Not human. Not Varnak. "Inside," Rowe ordered. "Quick!" They rushed into the tower. The door closed behind them with a soft click on its own. They were now inside the tallest structure in the city, and inside, it was darker than it should be. But the lights flicked on as they walked, as if the building knew where they were going. The elevator opened. Without being called, a message flashed inside it. "Admiral Zarok is waiting." "What?" Rowe whispered. The others stared at the message. "He's alive? Or something's using his name." Rowe made a decision. "Get in." They entered the elevator. It moved silently, up and up and up. No buttons, no floor numbers, only the same message glowing on the screen. "Admiral Zarok is waiting." The doors opened. A large room, clean, bright. In the middle, a chair. And in that chair, someone sat, back turned to them. Still, silent. "Admiral Zarok?" Rowe asked. No answer. Rowe stepped closer. "Sir, this is Commander Rowe. I've been sent to retrieve you." Still nothing. Rowe reached out and touched the chair. It spun, slowly, and revealed. A man in Varnak armor, ex-Zarok. But not the same. His skin was pale, too pale. His eyes, gray like stone, his mouth stitched into a twisted smile. Sora screamed. Another soldier aimed a weapon, but Zarok raised one hand. Not fast, not aggressive, just slow and calm. "You shouldn't have come." The voice was wrong. 2 voices speaking at once. One Varnak, one human, one other. "You're not Zarok," Rowe said. The thing smiled wider. "He was useful. He helped us learn your empire." "Where's his crew?" Rowe asked. "With him, in him, around him. Earth is big now." The lights flickered. The room shook. Outside the tower, the people on the streets turned their heads, together, toward the building, all smiling. One soldier panicked and fired at Zarok. The bullet stopped in midair, hung there, then slowly reversed and hit the shooter in the chest. He dropped, dead. The voice spoke again. This planet is not what you think. It is not a world. It is a trap, a test, a door. And you opened it, Ro shouted. Back to the ship, now! They ran. The elevator was gone, only stairs now, hundreds of floors, but they didn't care. They ran, down and down. Behind them, laughter echoed, not from one voice. From thousands, from the walls, from inside their own helmets. Outside, the streets were no longer empty. The smiling humans were walking now, all toward the tower. No weapons, no shouting, just calm, and eyes that never blinked. Veltrix 7 powered up. Sora reached it first. She screamed at the ship's AI to open the ramp. It did. Barely. They all jumped in, except for one. The last soldier was caught by the crowd. They didn't attack him. They just touched him. He stopped moving, then stood, then smiled. Inside the ship, Ro shouted, "Lift off!" They left the surface, faster than allowed, didn't care. They broke into the clouds, passed orbit, entered space. Safe? Not yet. Ro turned to Sora. "We are never coming back here." But the ship's screen lit up. Destination locked, Earth. "No!" Ro screamed. Sora tried to override it. It didn't listen. The ship turned around, back toward the blue planet. One final message appeared on every screen. In Varnak, human, and something older. No one leaves Earth. We are all part of it now. The ship Veltrix 7 was falling back toward Earth. Commander Ro and Lieutenant Sora were trapped inside. The controls didn't work. The ship ignored them. Every system obeyed something else. Something below. "We never should have come," Ro said softly. Sora was shaking. "This ship has its own mind now. It listens to Earth." Ro looked at the glowing message on the screen. "Welcome home." "Home," he whispered. "We're not from here." The ship didn't care. It landed on Earth again, but not in the same city. This time, it was a forest. Silent, dark, alive. The ramp opened on its own. Sora grabbed her weapon. Ro stepped out first. The trees were tall, too tall. They swayed without wind, and they watched. Yes, watched. Ro could feel it, like the forest had eyes. Then they heard footsteps, fast. Someone running, branches snapping, then silence. Out of the trees came a soldier, a Varnak, bloody, limping, eyes wild. "Commander Ro, thank the stars, it's me, Darren!" Ro stared. Darren was one of Zarok's soldiers. He had vanished with the first landing team. But this Darren looked wrong, too clean, too familiar, like a perfect copy, just slightly off. Sora raised her weapon. "Stay back! I'm real!" Darren shouted. "They got the others, but I escaped!" Ro narrowed his eyes. "Tell me what happened to Admiral Zarok." Darren froze, just for a moment, then smiled. "He's still inside, just deeper." That was enough. Ro stepped back. That's not Darren. Suddenly, Darren's body shifted, the skin rippled, the eyes turned black, and the smile grew wide. Far too wide. It wasn't a face anymore. It was a mask, and it cracked. The creature dropped the act. It stood taller. Its body stretched, mouth split open, hands became claws. "We show you what you understand. That's how we speak. Now listen. Closely." It charged. Ro fired first. Plasma round hit its chest, but it didn't fall. Sora launched a stun grenade. It screamed, but not from pain, from delight. "More!" It jumped toward them, then stopped midair, frozen. The forest itself had stopped it. Vines shot up from the ground and grabbed it, pulled it down, pulled it into the earth, and it was gone. Ro and Sora looked at each other. The ground moved. The trees. whispered. The planet had saved them, or was it playing with them? They ran. No plan, just ran. The forest opened a path for them. That felt like a trap, too. But they had no choice. After an hour, they found a small building, old, broken, but the door was open. Inside was dark, but not empty. Something sat in the middle. Figure, still, silent. It looked up. Same Varnak armor, same rank markings. Admiral Zarok, Ro whispered, but something was different. His eyes were clear. He wasn't smiling. You shouldn't be here, Zarok said. His voice was calm, his real voice. Sora stepped forward. We came to rescue you, Zarok shook his head. There is no rescue, not from Earth. I left a warning. You didn't listen. Ro frowned. We got no message. I sent it through the stars. But Earth hides things. Zarok stood, slowly. His body looked tired, older. He pointed at his chest. It's inside me, part of me. Every moment I stay, I lose more of myself. But I hold it back, for now. Sora stepped closer. We can still leave, together. Zarok looked at her, and for a second, hope, then regret. No, he said. One of you must go back, not both. Rose snapped. We're not leaving anyone behind. But Zarok pointed at the wall. Symbols began glowing. A doorway appeared, not a machine, not magic, something in between. That door leads off-world, but it will only open once. And Earth will follow through it, Sora whispered. Then we can't open it. No, Zarok said. We must, but only with a message. Tell the galaxy. Never come back. Suddenly, the ground rumbled. The forest outside screamed. The creature that wore Darren's face was back, but not alone. Others came with it. Shapes, voices, walking lies. The room grew colder. Zarok looked at Ro. I'll hold them. You run, Ro. Grabbed his arm. Admiral, no time. Zarok placed something in Ro's hand, a small cube, glowing with a faint red light. This is Earth's truth. Take it. Warn the others. He turned to the doorway, spoke one word. The door opened. Ro and Sora ran through. The last thing they saw, Zarok standing tall, facing the monsters, a warrior in the dark, alone. They fell out. The other side, onto a metal floor, a Varnak outpost. Safe. Alarms went off. Soldiers ran in, weapons drawn. Who are you? Ro stood, held up the cube. We're from Earth. Everyone went silent. Then someone said, That planet? That place is off limits. Forbidden zone. Ro looked up, voice calm, but eyes full of horror. Not forbidden enough. The outpost was quiet now. Too quiet. Commander Ro stood in the center of the Varnak control room, staring at the small glowing cube in his hand. Red light pulsed slowly, like a heartbeat. Lieutenant Sora sat nearby, being treated for her wounds by med drones. She kept glancing at the cube like it might jump out and bite them. No one dared touch it. No one wanted to be near it. The cube was from Earth, and that made it dangerous. Admiral Zarok had given his life for it. He said it held Earth's truth. But what truth? And what was the price of opening it? General Tavik, the station commander, entered the room. His face was pale, eyes sharp. Is it real? He asked. Ro nodded. Admiral Zarok placed it in my hand. Just before, he stayed behind. Tavik stared at the cube. We lost hundreds on that mission. Ships, troops, whole units just disappeared. Now this thing shows up. He pointed to the cube. What does it do? Ro shook his head. We don't know yet, but we need to. They took the cube to the secure chamber, a thick room made of neutron steel. No signals in or out. One scientist entered, just one, Dr. Kira Thal, expert in alien tech. She placed the cube on a platform and began scanning. At first, nothing. Then the cube spoke. No one heard it, but everyone felt it, in their minds. "We warned you." Kira gasped and backed away. Ro stepped forward. "What did it say?" "It's alive," she whispered. "The cube. It thinks. It remembers. It knows. What happened on Earth?" Suddenly, the cube glowed brighter. Holograms shot up from it. Not words, not images. Memories. Everyone in the room saw the same thing. A forest swallowing a whole tank. Soldiers speaking to their dead friends, friends that shouldn't be alive. A city blinking out of existence like it had never been built. A sky that rained blood one minute and diamonds the next. The ground whispering things, promises, lies, secrets, and one sentence repeated again and again, spoken by many mouths, many voices. "We are Earth, and you were warned." The cube showed them everything. What Earth really was. Not a planet, not just land, water, air, but something deeper, older, sentient, alive in a way no one could explain, and angry. Kira collapsed after 5 minutes. Too much. Her mind couldn't take. Sora had to look away. Even hardened officers were shaking. But Ro kept watching. He had to. He needed answers. Then the hologram showed him something no one else saw. A human face. A man. Wearing an old Earth military uniform. No rank. Just eyes full of fire. And the voice said, "You woke it up. And now it's learning. It doesn't forgive." Then the image vanished. The cube dimmed. Everyone gasped for air like they'd been drowning. Tavik stumbled back. "We can't keep this here," he said. "It's not a weapon, it's a curse." But Sora stepped forward. "No," she said. "It's a message. Earth doesn't want revenge. It wants space. It wants us to stay away." Ro nodded, and we didn't listen. Suddenly alarms went off. The room lights turned red. A voice came over the speaker. "Unidentified signal approaching the station. Not Varnak, not human. Unknown origin," Tavik shouted. "On screen!" The monitor showed a black ship, not made of metal. It looked like bone or stone or both, shaped like a claw, and it pulsed with red light, just like the cube. Ro whispered, "That's not a ship." Sora's voice shook. "That's a piece of Earth." Then the cube began glowing again, this time faster. "Urgent," Kira whispered, half-conscious. "It's calling out. It called that ship. It wants to come home." Tavik drew his weapon. "We destroy it, now!" Ro stepped in front of him. "You do that, Earth might send 10 more. This isn't war anymore. It's survival." The black ship docked. No one came out. The airlock stayed sealed. Then the cube floated off the table. On its own. It drifted toward the sealed door and passed through it, like it belonged there. The station lights flickered. Then everything stopped. Silence. Power. Gone. Backups failed. Nothing worked. The red light from the cube was the only thing that remained. Then a message appeared on every screen. In the same calm voice, "You've seen the truth. Now speak it, or forget, forever." The lights came back. The cube was gone. The ship was gone. Everything looked normal again. But it wasn't. Nothing was normal anymore. Sora looked at Ro. "What now?" Ro took a deep breath. "We go back to the Empire. We speak the truth, or we prepare for what's coming next." The Imperial Grand Hall was full. Thousands of Varnak citizens and officials sat in silence, waiting. Above them, golden banners hung from the ceiling. The Empire's crest shined proudly, but under all that glory, fear was spreading. The Earth mission had failed. Badly. And now, Commander Ro was back, alive, and about to speak. Emperor Korgan sat on the high throne. His eyes were cold. He didn't like failure. He didn't like fear, and he hated humans. He leaned forward and gave a small nod. "Let him speak," he ordered. Commander Ro walked slowly to the center of the hall. He wore a damaged uniform. His body was still healing, but his voice was steady, his eyes clear. He looked at the crowd and then at the Emperor. "You sent us to Earth," he began. "You told us the humans were weak, that their planet was nothing but dust and broken tech." "You were wrong." Murmurs spread in the crowd. The Emperor narrowed his eyes. "Explain yourself," he growled. Ro didn't flinch. "Earth is not a planet. It is alive. It sees, it listens, and it remembers." He raised a data crystal. Images appeared above his head, holograms from the red cube, Earth swallowing, tanks, talking forests, cities disappearing in a blink, strange weather, whispering soil, sentient storms. The crowd gasped, some even stood, others tried to leave, but the doors had been locked. The Emperor's voice echoed, "This is fear talking. Lies." But then, Sora stepped forward. She limped into the hall, her face pale but determined, she shouted, loud enough for all to hear. "I saw it too! Earth doesn't use weapons like us! Earth is the weapon, and it gave us one warning. Leave and never return." A silence fell over the hall. Ro looked straight at the Emperor. "You ignored the warnings. You called Earth weak. You called humans extinct. But now, Earth is waking up and it will not stop. It's coming." Suddenly, all lights went out. For one moment, complete darkness. Then, screens lit up all around the hall, but not with Empire symbols, with Earth's red cube symbol, and one message in many alien languages. "We warned you." People screamed. The Emperor rose from his throne, furious. "End this madness," he shouted. But the message didn't stop. It repeated again, louder, deeper, until it shook the walls. "We warned you." Soldiers entered, trying to shut off the power. Nothing worked. Even the Emperor's private tech went dead. Then the walls began to glow with Earth's map. Not just a map, a beating shape, a living form. Someone whispered, "It's inside the system." "No," Ro said. "It is the system now." The Emperor pulled a blade from his side. He pointed it at Ro. "This is treason." But Ro stepped closer. "No, this is truth. You wanted to own Earth. Now Earth owns us." The ground shook. Suddenly one of the golden banners fell and caught fire. Screams echoed again. The Empire's symbol began melting off the screens, replaced by the human face from the cube's vision. It spoke once more. "There is still time. Leave or vanish." Then, just as quickly, the lights came back. The screens turned off. Everything went back to normal, but no one moved. No one spoke. The hall was full, but felt empty, like Earth had already taken over. The Emperor sat down slowly. His hands were shaking. He said nothing. He gave no order. He just stared. Ro turned to the crowd. "You wanted a new colony. You got something else. Now, decide. War or silence." Outside, in the blackness of space, red dots appeared on the sensors. Ships, unknown, unscanned, unstoppable, and one by one, they disappeared. Before reaching orbit, as if Earth itself had reached out and erased them. Everything was quiet on Varnak Prime. Too quiet. The mighty Empire, once filled with pride, noise, and power, now stood still like a shadow of itself. Across cities, across starships, across the throne world itself. Fear hung like fog. The word Earth was now spoken in whispers. And the red cube symbol? It had appeared on every screen across the Empire. Every hour. The same warning repeated. You were warned. Do not return. In the Imperial War Room, only 3 people remained. Emperor Korgan, once feared by entire galaxies. Commander Ro, survivor of Earth. Sora, the scientist who had touched the red cube. The silence between them was heavy. Emperor Corgan's eyes were darker than ever. "Is this the end?" he finally asked, voice low. "It can be," said Ro, "if we make the wrong choice now." A map hovered above the central table. It showed the outer colonies of the Empire, or what was left of them. Many were now marked with blinking red dots, gone, silent, or worse, changed. Sora tapped the map. "It's spreading," she said. "Earth's signal, its mind." "Even planets we never linked to Earth are going dark," the Emperor clenched his fist. "So, Earth wants to destroy us all?" "No," Ro said. "It wants to be left alone. It only destroys when we ignore its warnings. We were the ones who invaded, and Earth fought back." Suddenly, a message came through on an old, forgotten frequency. No voice, just words, and only one sentence. "Return what you stole, and never come back." The Emperor's face froze. He turned slowly to Ro. "Stole? What did we steal?" Ro looked down. "The cube," he said. "And more." Sora explained what she had found. Earth isn't just defending itself with weapons. It's defending memory. Long ago, maybe before the Empire existed, Earth was attacked. It remembers pain, and it doesn't forgive easily. The Emperor said nothing for a long time. Then he gave the order, the last order. "Prepare a shuttle," he said. "We return the cube." Hours later, near Earth's orbit, a small Imperial shuttle drifted alone. It carried no weapons, only the cube, and a message. As the shuttle reached Earth's upper atmosphere, the planet glowed softly, not with fire or rage, but like something watching, waiting. Sora placed the cube into a special container and pushed it toward open space. It floated gently, slowly being pulled toward Earth. And then, it vanished, like it was never there. Suddenly, all sensors went dark. The shuttle lights blinked. Then, a voice filled the cabin. Not mechanical, not alien, but calm, human. "We remember. We warned you. You returned what was taken. Now leave, and never return." As quickly as it came, the voice stopped. All systems came back, online. The red cube symbol disappeared from every screen across the Empire. Just like that, it was over. Back on Varnak Prime, news of the event spread fast. No more attacks, no more missing ships. Just silence. The kind of silence that says, "You're being watched." The Empire did not celebrate. It did not shout victory, because they knew they had lost, and Earth had let them live. For now. From that day, Earth became known as the planet that cannot be conquered. The Empire marked it as a red zone. No ships allowed, no trade, no talk, just one rule. Do not disturb the sleeping giant. Years later, young cadets in the Empire's academy would ask, "Why don't we go to Earth?" And their instructors would say with eyes wide, "Because Earth is not a planet. It's a warning.